Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, here to talk about how to guard small guards in NBA 2K26, aka the 6'1" to like 6'4" that are fading around like crazy on you, or also how a lot of these tips can translate to maybe even 2v2 for you as well, guarding those 6'7", 6'8", even all the way up to 6'11" fading builds as well. So anyway, let's get straight into this. I hope you all enjoy. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff, and like always, try this 1 to 1,000 likes. So you can see I have a lot of tips here. We're going to be able to segment them into a little bit easier way to read. I just wanted to show you a little bit more of an overview for everything you're going to see. But yeah, there's a lot of tips, a lot of suggestions, and what we're going to have is more gameplays rather than highlights. I want to show you straight up games of us guarding small guards rather than highlights, but as you can see, I also do have highlights from this YouTube video that I also want to pull, and we'll just go ahead and show that to you as well. But let's start off with actually talking about the tips that I have mentioned in the vid. So first of all, fighting through screens is a lost cause. I've already talked about that a lot on the channel. I don't want to like keep on reiterating myself to the viewers that have been consistently watching, but being able to switch on screens is a very important concept when coming to like small guards as far as how to defend them. Now, obviously, that inherently means, and I didn't write it as a note, but you need to be able to rebound as well if you are going to be someone that's going to be doing that, because obviously you have to guard more than just the guard. You have to also secure the possession ender, which is the rebound as well. So builds that are around like 6'7" to 6'11", in my opinion, are by far the best at doing this. It's a little bit tough when you teeter on either of those edges, because 6'7" might not be the best at, like, you know, playing the rebound, and then 6'11" might not be the best at guarding the actual PG. So somewhere even closer to the equilibrium of that, aka like 6'8", 6'9", maybe 6'10", but probably more so along the lines of 6'8", 6'9", is really beautiful in the switchable defense. That's just my suggestion. Again, you can do it with multiple different builds. It's just that those are the sweet spots, if you ask me, as far as defending them. Now, typically you only need 2, because once again, you need an on-ball defender and a screen defender. And if you've got that, you got enough to have long-term chemistry with the person you're playing with. Now, if you are someone that's playing with randoms, I am not gonna lie, these tips might be a little bit tough to play around. It is gonna be tough, because you cannot guard these small guards that are just so fast and fading from 3 with only one player. I truly don't believe that you can fight through screens, ice off a side while still recovering to the guard while he's fading. I think you really need a joint effort duo with this. So I do apologize. Hopefully a lot of the information can still be useful to you guys if you do play with randoms. If you are playing in like the rec center though, for instance, I think you can kind of rely on some of this stuff, because the court shrinkage should be something that your teammates are willing to play around, but I understand that it's not exactly always that easy. Anyway, I don't want to get too hung up on, like, you know, the details of this stuff though, of how many teammates you need in specific to be doing stuff like this. Like I said, if you have a duo that you can ideally play the pick and roll defense with and be vocal with, I think that's very important. And what you're going to see me mention in a lot later in the video is how the on-ball defender should be the one being vocal, if you ask me, rather than the other defender on the backside. I think the on-ball defender kind of chirping out what he wants to do and what he needs from the other help defender is going to be a really good way to go about things. It lets you have some initiative and like paint the picture defensively rather than being so reactionary, if you get what I'm saying. So anyway, let's keep moving along though. Those are just more tips. The green ones are like intel things that can like help you just from reading them, simply put. The red ones are going to be ones that we need to actually put more gameplay footage into action and show you things of me doing them and exactly how to execute them. So we will still you know, get to these and like show the in-game footage as well. I do still have a couple of other tips that we'll talk about, and then we'll get into the actual gameplays and stuff. But anyway, early on, you may have to play more of a sides defense. All of these bullet points are going to get like kind of intertwined with each other, and you're going to see like a level 1, level 2, and level 3 essentially of like how complex your defense can handle being. So early on, you might have to play more of a sides defense, which in my opinion is a novice version of this defense, giving up a lot of points in the paint, free rebounds, good rebound positioning in general. Again, free slips. You're playing a left and right. One of you is playing left on the screen, the other is playing right on the screen. The problem is, like I said, playing a style like that, it's going to give up a lot of free twos, and this sometimes can be an okay thing, as you see me mention later in here. A good strat when you're up by a lot or a comfortable margin to give up free 2-pointers if you are threatened by those 99 3-point guards that much to the point you need to give them up for free. Problem is, listen, sometimes, and I'm gonna just put you guys onto this little tip of intel, and don't take it too seriously. This is more for like the elite of elite, the top guards of the world. When you're playing some of those dudes, they might just chuck the 3 on the double team anyway, because when you're leaving that big man down low wide open on the rebound, it's not always that simple to just think that that was like a win for you. Sometimes that might mean a free O board, and now you're just gonna have to go 2 or 3 possessions worth in one possession like off those O boards into passbacks to the guard. of just giving up the wide open rebound. It's not exactly the way you want to go about that. So versatile defenders even goes even further for the rebound talk, because when you have someone that can swoop in off the corner for the board, that's an even bigger deal and a big issue that not a lot of teams have. So versatility defensively can be very important in many different ways, and in this case, off the corner can be really important too. But that's why we don't really like this style of defense. It's kind of fluky. I don't believe in it a whole lot, and it's not going to actually get you stops against the best players in the world, if you ask me. Now, against the moderately, like, you know, not that great guards, I think it can get the job done, just because they're going to be kind of dumb and blind and not really pass their big ever, and they might even still just do it late, and then you can bail from this defense after the guards over dribbled and got tired and stuff like that. But what really needs to be known, though, is that you leveling up this defense eventually with your duo of the chemistry defensively is an important thing. So level 2 of the defense would be to use the term switch rather than sides. Stop playing left right and play more I'm on my guy and you're on your guy, and get ready to switch fully, because we need to keep a body on a body, make sure we're not giving up wide open, you know, premeditated twos and slips. And it does run the risk of giving up more threes taken on you due to miscommunications or the guard making an elite play. We'll talk about the type of elite plays that you'll see in just a second here. I promise we'll get to the gameplay pretty soon. But I'm going to show you how to deal with things like that as well and level up into level 3 of the defense, which would be pre-switching. So this is a concept I've ran on Pro-Am very much so, like back in the day, me and Bullet Passer, the dude who plays on Joe's team occasionally. Now, he's in college now, so dude's a little bit busy and not on the game quite as much. But me and him kind of kicked it off with like the pre-switch concept of a very sides-heavy one, but we noticed we were giving up a lot of, like, you know, free threes to the guard by not being in good positioning, or the reason we, you know, switched away from the sides defense instead of switching into this switching style or pre-switch is because the slips were wide open, and again, the guard was finding ways to bop himself open from 3 off of one of us being down. So I'm gonna slow this down a little bit. It's a little bit tough to understand the concept, and again, we will have like actual gameplay to go with this in just a second. But if you are the on-ball defender, make sure you set an edge. Play a side. If you're in the pick and roll D and you're playing the right side, instead of playing the right side of the screen, take away any access of the guard moving to the right at all, so that the guard has only one option, and that is to move toward the screen and toward your help defender. Now, when you see that type of action, what you're going to want to do instead as the on-ball defender, instead of chasing the person with the ball, what you're going to do is once that guard runs toward your teammate off the screen, you're going to drop down to the big man and get behind him to allow you to get good box out positioning and good, like, you know, underneath him on the slip to just not give up free buckets or anything like that. Now, as the backside defender, as you can see right here, get ready to pick up on anything coming your way, because your teammate is cutting off that guard's movement entirely, not letting him move toward his side. So inherently, the only way you can move is toward you. Now, when you are like in that spot, get ready to pick up anything coming your way, but you absolutely need to know that it will turn into a one-on-one instead of like double teaming sides D, if you will, once the big goes down, because the whole point of the pre-switching was to get that on-ball defender onto the big man and behind him to allow us to get good box out positioning and good, you know, walling up on the slip like we just said. So you need to understand that when you were thinking you were playing the left in my hypothetical, now you need to actually cover for even the right side, because your teammate has now left you. So you have all the leverage. The guard had to run your way, so now you need to cut off his left. You need to make sure that he can't go further off of your side at all and take away that movement from the guard entirely to his left, so that the only way he can really get open on you as the slip went down is to your right. And then when you understand that, you can cover for that right side that no longer is there with your teammate because he went down for the screen. So let's get into some actual gameplay and show you this actually in action, and then we'll talk about this type of stuff later, the press and the bump. Alright, so as you can see, we're just pulling some clips straight from the YouTube channel, so we're just going to go ahead and do so. As you can see, pick and roll against the guard. This is pre-switch. This is essentially me taking the left away from the guard, making sure he can't run any other direction except for the right, using that screen. And now, as you can see, Bonnie gets up on the screen right there, taking away the guard's movement to the right as well. And now is where you need to implement the part that I was just talking about. When you cut off his right, you need to acknowledge the only way he could really run right here is back to the left. So that is the exact motion of pre-switching that we're talking about. So not only am I showing you the motion of executing a pre-switch, of me taking away the left from the guard, not letting him run that way, and pushing him into my teammate, and preparing to get back on the big. I don't know why it keeps doing the rewind right here, but preparing to get back on the big right here and taking away the open roll, open slip, and also your teammate getting ready to pick up for the right side. But where we're lacking the execution in this play is, as you can see, him whipping it back to the left right there. You need to be prepared for motions like this because it is exactly what a good guard is going to do. They're going to see the opening on that, and you have to understand as a help defender in this style of a defense that's switch heavy that your middle is vulnerable in that type of a setting. So wanted to give you that clip for reference right there as far as like how to execute even on the things that we didn't do properly, and then we'll just go ahead and get into another clip right here as well. So as you can see, Bonnie cutting off his right there, forcing him to me. I'm ready to step up and play my guy, and as you can see, I do cover for the pre-switch right there, and Bonnie ends up actually getting down as well. But the thing is, a lot of elite guards, like I just said, are not exactly looking for this slip off this. What he thinks is going to be open because of Bonnie's leverage is to zig back to my side right here. But as you can see, I'm ready to cover for that pre-switch motion because once again, I mean, if you read this type of stuff, and it makes a lot of sense to you guys, if you I'm not gonna say if you hoop, because I'm not gonna lie, it's not like dudes in IRL on like the rec leagues and stuff like that be spamming pick and rolls like they do in 2K and in basketball and like the NBA. I mean, let's be real. But if you're someone that's kind of a film junkie of like NBA basketball, I really must say I wish people did this in the league even more. I feel like if I could give my take on NBA basketball, I don't see the big man slip as aggressively as they should. I feel like a lot of times they sit here and on some like brain dead park big, like how it is in 2K, they'll sit here and hold the screen and just allow two defenders to switch. And maybe the concept, to be fair, is to force the switch rather than get himself open on the roll. But I mean, you see it in basketball so much. Switch heavy defense all over the place, and it really should be more slips. Now again, the whole concept of the pre-switch is to deal with defense like this. Now if he slipped, Bonnie would just see that as his go. He needs to go on the slip because he was just playing the on ball, taking away the right from the guard, and as soon as he sees the big man go down, whether it was on the slip right there or not, he would know that's his key to get down with the big. And once again, when you see that slip from the big, me as this help defender right here needs to know that since Bonnie is leaving on that slip, I am now in a hypothetical one-on-one where I have to understand that my leverage is on the left, cutting the guard off that way. But I need to understand that these two are imaginary. They don't really exist to me right now, because if the big does go down on the slip, then I have to cover from my right side. The thing is, he can continue to hold the screen as well, and in which case, then you would allow your teammate to be your help defender. So it's all about watching the big man, actually more than watching the guard, to be real with you. I think this guy is the key, because now that I see him leave, I understand that I am not going to have help anymore, because clearly I'm not getting back to this big man from right here. So why would I ever expect I can rely on Bonnie's help on my right side if I understand that I can't get back to the other defender? The easiest thing for me to guard right now is still the guard, 100%. Even if he were to fade back to the corner, I understand that's my job to cover for, and because I took away that left early and didn't give him access to moving to the left side at all, I just have the ability to know that the smallest little bit of the court is remaining for him, and it's just to bop back to the right there, or to do the fade. But again, I have that covered. It's a small distance, and me as a bigger defender at 6'10" can still cover for that 100%. So as you can see, they end up throwing some BS right there. Big man catches it on the bailout, ends up walking it back and just deciding to take a shot for himself. The shot clock's getting a little bit low, and we just had them, you know, guarded up pretty well. And then another thing that's pretty nice but not really important to talk about in this video is that when the big man shoots the ball, it's hard for them to grab the rebound because that's their biggest player on the court, and inherently they just have a guard and a lock more often than not. Especially if y'all are playing these types of lineups that have the small guards like 6'1" to 6'4", I promise you, you're probably seeing another combination of a 6'7" lock and a 6'9" big man, or a 6'10" big man, something like that. And it's the type of typical lineup and environment you would see a lot of these small guards in. So anyway, let's go to the last topic right here, which is also still kind of the same concept. I'm just showing you once again the pre-switching and stuff like that, or just in general playing good defense at all. So once again, I'm cutting that left side movement off from the guard, but getting bumps and adrenaline loss is also something very important to note of when you see something like that of the adrenaline loss, because you have to kind of play guard yourself to understand what constitutes as an adrenaline loss. Sometimes it's -2. You'll know a lot of stuff like that if you constantly get bumped. And I hated when my point guard AK used to say that back in the day, because I'd be like, bro, I played enough defense, I can get a good idea for like what actually, you know, is considered an adrenaline loss. But the thing is, you really don't know it until you actually play as a guard. So if you have any like, you know, experience with this, you would probably know that, I mean, he at least lost 1, maybe even lost 2 for that matter, because like I don't really know what causes it, but as you can see, like the bump that I get right here while trying to do a dribble move is at the very least 1, maybe 2, like I said. But anyway, as you can see, I'm still icing off that left side. I am forcing him to move toward Bonnie. As you can see, Bonnie picks up for me right there, and now I'm down with the big man. And once again, Bonnie has to cover for his zig back movement, if you will. I don't really know what to call this, to be fair. I mean, it's literally just him trying to get into that open space that I just left, essentially. But yeah, I mean, like, as you can see, I started off like bumping the guard. Again, I don't want to overplay this too much because we still have some gameplay I want to get to as well. This is going to be a long video. I hope you guys are understanding of it because we're here to teach you stuff. But yeah, playing the bumps, I'm identifying that I'm playing my left, he's got right, until we see the slip go. And as you can see, once he's out of there, boom, now Bonnie's on the right. He needs to understand he's covering back for his left, and I'm all the way down in the big man so that I can get down into box out positioning. The thing is, I'm even still a little bit too late on this, to be fair. But more occasionally, more often than not, you are going to be in a good positioning on this early. I mean, I got out of here pretty early. It's just that the guard was willing to shoot some BS, to be fair with you. But more often than not, you should be able to get back to that big man and that box out early. I just barely did not get to this, as you can see, and he ends up getting like the board to fortunately just drop into his hands, because if it would have gone for a long rebound, that positioning that I did get would have been good enough, to be fair. Same with Tristan off the corner right here, could have blitzed the rebound and, like, you know, crashed really hard, but instead he stayed at home to not really get, you know, beat right there, but and eventually, you know, he did technically get beat because he's a big man trying to guard a dude that's able to fade. So anyway, just wanted to give you a couple of those in-game keys right there of understanding pre-switch concept that we were getting at in the notes. So again, I'm not gonna harp on this for much longer because obviously, like I said, it's gonna be a really long video, but understand which level of your team you can actually afford to like employ this on. So if you can only do level 1, which is just sides D, at least start there. It's at least a decent start to, place to start. And then for level 2 would be more of the switchable defense. You don't have to be on that pre-switch quite yet, where like it requires so much trust and like communication, if you ask me. But switch heavy is more just like you'll have a body on a body, you'll get bopped from 3 sometimes. You can really blend it in with the sides defense and just like, you know, play sides early, consider it switch when you see open opportunities to switch. But the pre-switch is all premeditated. It is literally you saying, I'm taking away a side, forcing him to you. I need to trust you that you're going to be on that side ready to play him, and then be ready to cover from my side when I leave because I'm trying to get down to the big man. But my whole point was to play the contain early. I'm forcing him to you and not letting him run my way so that there's no miscommunication or anything like that. And then if the big slips early but stayed on my side, then I could just stay up, Bonnie can stay low. It's a lot of, like I said, communication stuff. So anyway, let's get into some actual gameplay of putting this into action against small guards. I do have 2 more talking points, but I'll talk about that later because I know a lot of y'all are probably just fiending for the gameplay. But we'll come back to this at the very end and see if you can understand that we actually were implementing that into the gameplay. I would want to go over these, but again, we've already been talking about getting the gameplay, so let's just get to it. Alright, so as you can see, we're on the 3s, streaking with my boys Kitchen and Bonnie. Bonnie's on that 6'8", I'm on a 6'10", and Kitchen's on a 6'11". So, like I told you, it's 3 switchable builds, if you ask me. It's just that the 6'11 probably doesn't have quite as much switchability, but as you can see, we have a guard right here. He's a red banner. He's, as you can see, 15.5 points per game. It's literally double mine, for that matter. And he's shooting 65% from 3 with a 97 3-pointer. So, understand that's a lot of times when you see a guard that doesn't have an elite 3-point percentage, I'm shooting opens. I am shooting open 3s with a 78 3-pointer and only shooting when I'm open and standstill shots for the most part. This guy is shooting fades all over the place, being weird with, like, you know, his shot selection, and that's why his 3-point percent might not be as low, or it might be lower than what you would expect, essentially, out of someone that has such a high 3-pointer. But anyway, as you can see, pure lock and then big man. This type of big, you're probably going to see a mobile big man that doesn't get his guard like blitzed quite as often, is a pick and roll heavy usage guy, and you're able to, you know, have a really high mobility rate with like good speed and good offensive rebounding and stuff like that as well. Now, to be fair, this guy isn't showing his speed in his top 5 attributes, top 6 attributes, so I don't really know exactly what he's making there, but we shall see. Anyway, into the offense, as you're going to see, we start this off. We're just going to run our typical O, where it's going to be like me either ISOing or telling Kitchen or Bonnie to wrap up. Kitchen coming out here fading on that 6'11", I can't lie. The small guards might not even be the boogeyman in this game. I think low-key, these type of builds are about to pick up quite a bit. But anyway, we're not here to talk about offense, but you will see it in the gameplay. Let's focus on defense. As you can see, Bonnie's taking away the left, I'm taking away the right. As you can see, I wall that off early. I am playing that, and then as soon as that big slips, if the guard were to run left, I'm ready to pick up the big man. But as you can see, the screen is still being held, so I'm not really concerned about it yet. As you can see, I almost overstepped because what I didn't mention to you guys in the notes is peaks. So the peak shots, if you will, are the shots right in between the sides gap. where, as you can see, if he were to have shot that right there, neither of us would have been exactly like high enough, but I was still trying to cover for it. As you can see, I'm trying to like watch the peak in the middle. Problem is, when you do that sometimes, it might leave you vulnerable to your side. So you have to be very careful with who's the peak defender, if you will. But either way, as you can see, I'm able to recover on the jump, get a 31% contest right there. You may have to do that often, you know? I mean, you might have to jump if you're out of position on the guard, because these dudes will fade, and they will let that thing fly as well. And hey, you know who can't contest that? The guard. You can't contest kitchen while doing it. So I don't know, man. Maybe them 6'11s really are the best. But as you can see, unfortunately, we just had our matchups not correct coming up the court. So now I had to go to the corner spot up. Kitchen's on the guard. Kitchen able to actually kind of guard him decently with a 4% contest right there. And we're able to already get another stop. So you can already feel it kind of pouring on right here. These guys are really like not able to get a lot going currently on the offense, and I've had two-way consistently on each possession as well. It's been pretty rough for them. It's already 8-0. So right here you can see I'm covering my right. I'm not gonna lie, I am gonna be spinning around quite a bit, but once again he's fading to the corner. We're ready to jump. Obviously he could wait that out. The thing is, I'm not gonna be concerned about it until he does something like that. So if I'm out of position like this, you will not catch me staying on my feet right here. And if the guard's running to the corner in a spot where he clearly could have had a wide open three if I didn't jump, why not jump in this case? That's my take on it. And as you can see, we get a 27% contest. That is like, you know, enough for the guard to still make it, for that matter. He will still make shots like that if they're at like a crazy elite level. But yeah, as you can see, once again into the defense, because they did get this offensive rebound from Mr. 97 O-board down there. Bonnie's gonna play the middle. I'm on the right again. As you can see, Bonnie's taking away his left, forcing him to me. Now I am the new matchup, and guess what Bonnie's doing? He's getting back, getting ready to play that slip. He's not giving up anything open and for free. They're down to 2 seconds. I get another jump contest on the guard. Even Green's the timing on that, which is crazy, by the way, on a 35% contest. And yeah, I mean, great defensive display right there. And now we hit Kitchen on the wrap. Boom, it's 11-0. We are playing natural offense off of our defense. If anything, our defense is creating our points, and they're not scoring a thing. So big man, once again, holding screens a bit too much. If you're a big and you want to know how to stop your guard from getting blitzed and played sides perfectly like we are in this, you might want to implement some slips. The thing is, though, the big man probably doesn't get hit on slips very often. They don't. A lot of these guards aren't willing to take twos ever. So what it leads to is the big just holding his B button and trying to allow the guard to find peaks and like little, you know, shots in between the screens, whether it's like people overplaying their side for the fade. I mean, this dude literally, like I said, scores 15 points per game. He is their offense. Everybody else on the court averages like 2 a game. So clearly they're playing with a full squad. Clearly they run this trio a lot. And yeah, a lot of people be memeing people in the comments like these two that are, you know, the traffic cones on the court. The classic comments of like, these dudes really paid $100 for the game just to sit corner and watch the dude play the game the whole time. But I mean, truth be told, it's a good lineup. It's just that when you have the right counter to it, it's really boxed, because if this guard can't score, he can't do it. This whole team can't do anything for that matter. They got a pure lock and a pure like big man on the court. So they don't even really bring offense to the table, to be real with you. As you can see, the lock tries to. The big's going to try to right here. I mean, they're running out of time. He's got to shoot the ball, bro. It's getting rough. They don't got anything. And again, a lot of what we're employing right here is the true blue sides defense of like being switchable and the pre-switches and all that stuff. As you can see right here, I'm going to cook up a little bit on their lockdown. I got the two-way. I'm ready to kind of get wavy. I mean, hey, I've been posting some videos on the offense stuff too. Don't get me wrong. We're not only just playing defense out here. And in case you're wondering, like I said in previous videos, my build is not an elite defensive build. It only has 82 per rim and like, you know, 73 steal, 74 block. It's nothing crazy. So the guard finally gets an open shot and misses it. Thing is, he was slumped. I don't know if you've seen that too often in this game. The dude he was on a shooting slump, and even if he would have timed it right, it's still possible they nuked his shooting abilities entirely. I'm not sure you've seen that much in this game, to be real, because it's such an offensive game. But anyway, as you can see, we do not miss a single shot and don't turn the ball over at all. They do not make a single shot and turn the ball over too on a shot clock violation. That's pretty tough. I can't lie. That is pretty tough. So anyway, into the next gameplay. I gotta say, that one was pretty fire, to be fair. But yeah, into the next one, as you can see, we got a purple banner, a bronze, and a silver. To be fair, a lot of these guys be loading up on new builds. As you can see, like this dude is averaging 16.5 points per game on his silver banner point guard build. So clearly, you know, they're winning at a decent rate. I'm gonna be real. If the point guard himself is averaging 16.5 points per game, they're gonna be winning quite a bit. You know what I mean? And that's what I was just saying with the other one too, fellas. Like, the average team that they play on the last gameplay that we just showed, the dude's still averaging like 15 a game. He scored 0. That's 15 points below his average. So, Anyway, as you can see in this one, they have a 99 3 guard. They have a 99 perimeter lock as well with like 92 agility, speed, all that. This guy with the 99 3 and the 91 speed with ball as a 6'2", and then a big man as well. We should look at the big man just for some context though. And as you can see, he's a 6'9" with probably around 80 speed once again, or like 78, something like that. Good O board, good D board, and like a solid defender that you can't exactly pick on at a super high rate. So again, a classic stage meta lineup, if you will, where a lot of the guard, lock, center kind of trio, if you will, are going to come out here super consistently. Anyway, into our offense, you can see they're kind of moving around a tad bit. We're just going to be, you know, calling little wrap-up plays and stuff as well. Again, we can't really target a lot of these, though, because the big man isn't exactly someone easy to go at. So instead, what you're going to see, we should probably be going at that guard. So we're going to tell Kitchen to wrap up. This guy can't guard him, simply put. Guard can't guard a guard, but guess what? Kitchen could guard that guy if he had to. So low key, once again, I'm kind of telling y'all that 6'11" point guard might be the better play instead of this small guard. Now, I will not lie to you. These guys at an elite level will come out here and absolutely just completely change the game. I mean, dudes be hitting that shot right there, and that is a hard one to guard, like, truth be told. So I will say, as far as like the over dribbling goes, like this definitely was him holding the ball for quite a long time, and you can see he's dribbling quite a bit too. Now, I don't know if it still exists, but in years past, over dribbling was a thing where if you dribbled for too long, your shot making ability would go down. That is 12 seconds of dribbling right there, and is still a backwards fade 31-foot shot right there, and it's probably the best look they could have got. And as you can see, we're taking our twos right there. Kitchen's hitting me on the slip. We're already up 5-0. That's a really good place to start, to be fair, against these teams. Now, as you can see, I'm picking up corner. I'm taking away corner side as well, and Bonnie's taking away the left. Unfortunately, this is this type of stuff I was talking about. Even when you still play contain, per se, you might not be containing even enough. As you can see, Bonnie low-key a little bit oversteps right here, whereas if he was playing his left even harder, it would have kept him in a funnel, a little trap, if you will, where if he's taking away his left, I'm taking away his right, he's going to be stuck in between us. But when he breaks that contain, now all hell is breaking loose. I mean, we can't really do anything about that at that point, and he just misses open. So can I really call that good defense? I'm not so sure. To be fair, I wouldn't really call it like perfect execution by any means, but it is still enough to get stops against people sometimes, fellas. Like, truth be told, people will still miss the fades from like 30 feet in this game. It's just that, you know, the elite of the elites at guards will probably make that, to be fair. But anyway, once again, Bonnie can't really get his right side contained, and this is where things like miscues and like, you know, lack of communication can really get you. Because as you can see, I'm thinking that Bonnie wanted his right, but the thing is, and he's still going to try and get his right, but he can't keep up anymore. The guard has him kind of crabbed a little bit. As you can see, I'm low-key just hedging both sides, not really sure where to go with it, and Bonnie was trying to get back to the right as well. Now I'm too late on that right side and probably could have played the help D pickup, but communication is major key. It's the type of thing that just gave up a three-pointer right there, and why the problem is. Now, speaking of communication, these guys give up a three because they don't know who's guarding who. I don't know. At the end of the day, people can talk about not wanting to be sweaty on this video game, but truth be told, you're playing a strategic game. This is truly like more chess than any like sports video game you'll ever play. I don't care what anybody says. Madden and stuff like that, it's a lot of just, I mean, I play it myself as well, but things of other, like, you know, sports game natures are a lot more RNG with a lot of AIs on the court and stuff like that, and praying that they just do the execution properly of what you tell them to do. This is literally PvP of just all players and just execution and like straight strategy that you can employ. I mean, look at this. This is good strategy by the guard, even for that matter. He sees me playing not high enough and Bonnie not having any help here either, and boom, that's the peak shot I was telling y'all about. Bonnie's playing the left, I'm playing the right, not anticipating the guard shooting this. If you're questioning whose job this should be though, it's probably a little bit more Bonnie's than mine. I don't know if like me being on the right side of the screen right there, it's gonna be hard to play that in the first place, and I'd just give up a free slip if I did. Bonnie could play a little tighter, but the thing is, the play before that, he was too tight in the middle, and he got beat to his left side. So again, strategy. I know y'all are sitting here looking at pick and roll stuff, and you think it's brain dead. You think a little guard hiding behind screens is the most stupid brain dead thing you've ever seen in the video game. In my opinion, it's not. It takes a lot of strategy from the guard and a lot of strategy from the big to play at an elite level as well. If you sit there and hold B the whole game as a center, you're going to get your guard blitzed and doubled and have nowhere to go in terms of the passes and stuff like that, and it's just bad ball. You really can't get away with stuff like that. And I don't know, you guys have seen me run the ISO and stuff like that. Trust me, I'm a big fan of pick and roll at the end of the day. It's just that it's kind of hard to run in this game, in my opinion, truth be told. But anyway, lockdown traffic cone, he don't want the ball. I'm on the left, Bonnie's on the right. As you can see, I'm playing my left side pretty aggressively right there. Had a really good contest on that, and as you can see, guard being a little bit too much of a ball hog. Bro's not ready to really like make a read or anything like that, and at the end of the day, I don't know, tough pass. I mean, he ended up trying to go up with a shot. I was in way better guarding position than he probably expected, and then trying to bail out of it instead of looking for his big on the slip. But you could say another problem that they have is that they're down by 9 points. You kind of have to be looking for shots like that. Now, I'm doing a little bit too much right there with the 3. Obviously, it's not exactly a good look. We should just be taking our points as well, but oh well. I mean, we're back here with the defense. You can see I'm on the left, Bonnie's on the right. We go for a little trapper right there. Another thing that's maybe worth mentioning. I don't have it mastered though, so I don't really want to put it in the tips video just yet. But another thing, and I'm really trying to tell y'all, like, you probably think this is a super long video. You think I'm overdoing it with the rewinds and stuff. I want to put you on game as much stuff that I possibly can. So here's the thing. Right here, guard, a little bit over dribbled. He already got hit with 1 trapper. He's doing a little bit too much. And now since Bonnie got the bump on him right there, I trust him to play this a little bit more high-lowish, if you will. Now, if he were to still beat Bonnie to my side, that's when I'm ready to go. And that's where it's more of like a switch defense rather than sides, if you know what I'm saying. I'm low, but anticipating being ready to go high to the right. And Bonnie is high, probably anticipating being ready to go low on the left side of the screen. Thing is, guard runs his way, puts the shot up. Guess what? Since I was trusting Bonnie a little bit more on the defense here, now I am low, ready to play the box out on the big man, as you can see. And boom, get that box, get that board, and that's the end of possession. Thing is, a lot of y'all are probably going to come out there and play really aggressive sides defense, and sometimes maybe do that overdone a little bit. And once again, bad press right there by Bonnie, and they end up getting a good possession. But thing is, like I said, you might overplay that sides defense and give up what doesn't even need to be necessary at all of a free slip or a free rebound when you had the guard dead. You had him absolutely done for and just decided to, unfortunately, give him a little bit too much attention. Now, as you see, Kitchen out here on the deep bomber right here, he's low-key getting kind of bodied up, but he just wanted to go ahead and try and keep things going. Didn't get it to go. Oh well, it's whatever. Gives us another defensive possession to show in the video right here. So once again, I'm on the left, Bonnie on the right, hit him with a trapper, and then, and I guess I should be telling everybody in the video, just in case you don't know stuff like this, I think the best way to execute the trappers is for the help defender to be the one to hold your left bumper, or L1, I think, on PlayStation. Point being, you want to hold this as the help defender, and it'll force the guard to sometimes pick the ball up or even get like a held ball turnover where it forces a jump ball as well. It's pretty interesting. I mean, it's definitely something additional to add to your bag. But these guys are done for right here. I mean, he's just kind of chucking at the end of the day. This game's over. Kitchen, once again, trying to go a little bit OD with the deep bomber. Anyway, ends up open on the corner right there, hits it. That's game. 21-9. We gave up a lot of the threes that we did give up were a lot of miscommunications or just like bad press. So speaking of bad press, let me show you what we could be talking about, and it's probably another talking point I could have had in the video, but oh well. Like I said, I wanted to get to the gameplay. I'm sure a lot of y'all were getting a little anxious about trying to get to this stuff. So let's go ahead and switch back over to that. As you're gonna see, we have these bullet points right here for the press. If you're a slower defender than your matchup by a big margin, like I am to a lot of guards, I implement soft press. It's what I've done in the past in Pro-Am as well, where you simply just mirror your matchup up the court, but not ever getting aggressive, making a move. And what you can do is impede the movement to a side you want to take away while doing this. So for instance, if we wanted to push them toward the middle of the court and toward their other corner defender, if you will, just so that you could ever, like, use that third defender on the court a little bit like Kitchen was in the corner, we could take away his right on the press, just shade his right on a soft press and mirror him a little bit while just taking his right away, and it would force him to move toward that corner side. And if you can force him into the middle of the court, it might feel a little bit more bunched up and kind of congested, if you will. So keep that in mind. It's a really good thing to just, like, kind of implement. And again, Bonnie tried to get very aggressive in his press, and it gave up a lot of like shot opportunities on that second game that we just showed right there. So next up, we have to bump or not to bump. So this is like a really big kind of just like addition to what I was just talking about in the sides defense and stuff like that. Is I'm not a fan of getting aggressive on D. I would rather play it in a more safe or passive style that you can see right here, shading a direction, forcing them toward your help defender, and turning a guard into a much more of a passer and a court reader than he like to be. Whereas if you get aggressive and try and play just 1 inch away from his body everywhere he goes, good ones will crab you, and then also sometimes they'll just take advantage of your over-aggressiveness and end up being faster than you. Like how, for instance, I just showed Bonnie getting beat on a couple of those cases where he tried playing the middle a little bit too tight and got beat to his side. Or, as you can see on the press, got a bit too aggressive and ended up getting beat to his side, and then left me in a little bit of a, do I pick up for him, do I not pick up for him? I don't know which side he was going to pick. Again, aggressiveness will be the backbreaker of you, if you ask me, when it comes to defending these types of players. So conservative and just being a little bit more content and patient with your defense, in my opinion, is the way to play this. Do not feel like the guard is in full control over you. Feel like you're in full control over the guard. So that's my take on it. Again, I know this is a super long video of me giving long explanations and stuff like that, but I hope it did help you guys. I know these types of builds are giving a lot of problems to people as far as defending them, so I wanted to give every possible thing I could to help you. I know a lot of people are saying LakerFan, the small guard hater, LakerFan, the 7'4" hater. Look, the thing is, I hear people have concern over guarding things that I don't really have as much concern myself over guarding. So what I naturally want to do is give you the tips that I feel like I already implement into my gameplay in the first place and bring them to you and try and allow you to do the same for yourself. So 7'4s, 6'1s, I've tried to show videos of how to stop them both. I don't know. I guess next up is the midi faders. Now, again, the midi fade stuff, you can treat the same way. I really want to talk about this, and I know, again, the video is going super long, but it's information I feel like I got to tell y'all. Because again, the midi faders, that's the type of people that are really like dog walking the twos courts and stuff like that. But the thing is, if you have a switchable defense that can pre-switch, you need to pre-switch on twos. They will hit slips. They will give wide open rebounds. If you're playing too high and tight on the sides defense and you're just literally like, you know, smothering the guard with attention. The thing is, you can't leave free twos on the table on 2v2. If they make a dunk on a pick and roll, that's a 2-point possession just as much as the midi fade was. So you got to have the pre-switch ready, and truly a defense like this is necessary in 2K26. So if you and your boy are playing the game together, you got to tell him you need to be on this stuff together, because you are not going to get stops on this game if you're just smothering the guard with attention on the sides defense, and now the rebounds are wide open, the slips are wide open. You just like are overdoing it on the attention of the guard, if you ask me. And with a little bit more unity right here, it's how you can actually get things set up together. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll even make a separate video talking about how to get stops on those midi fade spammers, because it can be a pretty tough thing to deal with on twos. But yeah, I don't know, who's the new boogeyman on 2K? Because to me it's not the small guards, and to me it's not the bigs. I think it's low-key them big guards that are fading like Kitchen is, but I haven't seen enough of them yet. But man, I can tell you, I wouldn't be a fan of trying to guard something like that myself. Anyway, that's all for video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. And like always, try this one 1,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, end of this very long video, put sides or put switch in the comments search part that you made it all the way through. Anyway, that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to rewatch any of this as well for any more tips in case you missed a little bit, feel free to. But yeah, that's all. Hope you enjoyed. None of that. Take it easy, man. Peace.